את השר עטף בשחור, מצפון ועד תימן אין קרן לו. אור זרוע לצדיק ולישרי לב שמחה. אור זרוע לצדיק ולישרי לב שמחה. אור זרוע לצדיק ולישרי לב שמחה. אור זרוע לצדיק ולישרי לב שמחה.
In the spirit of our ancient tradition, which unites and sanctifies the house of Israel in all lands and ages, we welcome the Sabbath by kindling these lights. Please rise. Amen. Thank you so much. Please be seated. And what a wonderful way to start our service, even if we've got a typo in there, I've just realised as well. So we're not uniting, but untying. Well, hopefully no one's untied or unhinged tonight, rather that we can celebrate a mother and daughter lighting the candles this evening, and especially having Lara back from Spain as well visiting. It's so wonderful to see you. We've got people from Spain here tonight, from Lincolnshire, from, well, Watford, and all over. And we've got more people in the sound cupboard, I think, tonight than we do have in the congregation necessarily. But it doesn't matter, because there's loads of you all over the place as well who are going to read with us and sing with us throughout this service. So Shabbat Shalom to you all. And together, let us read. Happy is the people by whom the Sabbath is sanctified. Page 69, if you're on the sanctuary, I forgot to announce it, page 69, 69, 69. Happy is the people by whom the Sabbath is sanctified. Happy are those who rejoice in its blessing, for it comes with a message of God's abiding love, as one who brings good tidings and publishes peace.
ויבש את ידיו יצרו בואו נשתחווה ונכרע נברכה לפני אדוני עושנו כי הוא אלוהינו ואנחנו במריתו יצרון ידו היום אם הכל לא תשמעו.
I know we've got rabbis joining us as well this evening. I believe a rabbi and a half in York tonight. I think Rabbi Danny Rich and Ray Thurston. It's lovely to have you with us, probably with Howard there. It's fantastic to have Marion joining us for the first time for the States as well. Our crew from Dublin. It's just wonderful to be all together here. We have a lovely baby here, definitely the youngest member of the community, also who's just about to appreciate something, some milk. I did earlier on with a number of members of our congregation our Shabbat in Lutsk in Ukraine, and it was wonderful. At the time when they were making Kiddush, it was about tea time here, so I had my cup of English tea to be able. I'm sure that some of you will be enjoying a refreshment or two as you sing along. Please make sure that you're well lubricated at this moment in time as we sing to God a new song.
Shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai, baruch hu shemo, bazru miyom liyom, Yeshuato, zachru v'goyim kevodo, b'chol ha'amim nifloota, ki gadol Adonai, u'molav me'od, noravu, al kol Elohim, ki kol Elohim ha'amim elelim, v'Adonai shamayim ha'asam, kol v'hadam, lefanav, oz v'tiferet, le'mikdasho, Avu l'Adonai mishpachot ha'amim, Avu l'Adonai kevod ve'oz, Avu l'Adonai kevod shemo, Avu l'Adonai kevod shemo. Ishtachchu l'Adonai b'chadrat kodesh, tilu mipanav kol ha'aretz, imru v'goyim Adonai malach, avdi kol tever ba'atimo, yavin ha'amim v'nesharim, yislochu hashamayim v'tagat ha'aretz, yiram hayam u'lalo, yalo tzadak b'chol ha'shebo, az yotzimenu kol ha'seyah al b'nei שירו לאדוני, שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני, כל הארץ.
לך דודי לקראת כלה,
בני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, שמעו וזכור, בדיבורך השמיענו, אל המיוחד אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד לשם ותפארת ולתהילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לקראת שבת, לכו ונלכה כי אם הכל, המרחה מראש מקדם, צוחה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תהילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, התעוררי כי בעורף, קומי אורי, שידברי כבוד אדוני, עלייך נקרא, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, בואי בשלום, עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה, ובצוחלה תוך אמונה, עם שגולה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
Please rise. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Havorach,
לעולם ועד.
Praise be the one to whom our praise is due.
We praise the Eternal One, to whom our praise is due forever.
Please be seated. And together.
We praise you, Eternal One, our God, Sovereign of the universe,
whose word brings on the evening, whose wisdom opens heaven's gates, whose understanding changes times and seasons, and whose will sets the stars in their courses in the sky. You make day and night rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light. You make day pass and bring on the night, and separate day from night. You rule the hosts of heaven. We praise you, O God, whose word makes evening full.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, ahavta Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadta, Akein Adonai Eloheinu,
בשוכבנו.
ובקומנו נשיע בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם בלילה, ואחוותך אל תסור ממנו, אל תסור ממנו לעולם.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Please rise. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Shem Kavod, Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך, בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה, אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטלטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
למען תזכרו, ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני, אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני, אדוני אלוהיכם.
Please be seated.
All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone, Eternal One, are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You have freed us from oppressors and delivered us from tyrants. You led us out of Egypt, forever to serve you in freedom. When we witnessed your power, we praised your name and gave thanks. Willingly, we accepted your rule. Then, full of joy, we sang together.
מי כמוך מלך אדוני, מי כמוך נדע בקודש, נורא תהילות וספלת, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
Let's continue together.
Grant, eternal God, that we may lie down in peace, and let us rise up to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your wise counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield us from sickness and war, from famine and distress, and keep us from wrongdoing. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you are our guardian and deliverer, a gracious and merciful God. Guard our going out and our coming in, that now and always we may have life and peace. We praise you, O God. May your sheltering peace descend on us and all who dwell on earth. Please rise.
Adonai, שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך. אדוני, שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך. Eternal God, open up my lips, that my mouth shall declare your praise. Eternal God, open up my lips, that my mouth shall declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el, Hagadol, Hagibor, v'Hanurah, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באחווה. מלך עוזר ומשיח ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, בחיי מתים ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך? מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים. קדוש אתה ונורא שמך, ואין לנו אלוה מבלעדיך. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. Please be seated.
ושמרה בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש.
And together, our God and God of our ancestors, may our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. Sanctify us by your commandments and make us loyal to your teaching. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation, and purify our hearts that we may serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Eternal One, let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts, and may all Israel who hallow your name be exalted by its peace. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of the Sabbath. We continue. Say Adonai Eloheinu, ba'amacha Yisrael, utfilatam b'hava tekabel, uthil ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Baruch ata Adonai, she'otecha levadecha, b'yira na'avod. Modim anachnu lach, she'ata hu Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu, le'olam va'ed. Tzor chayenu magen ishenu, אתה הוא לדור ודור. נודה לך ונספר תהילתך, על חיינו המסורים בידיך, ועל נשמותינו הבקורות לך, ועל ניסיך שבכל יום עמנו, ועל נפלותיך וטובותיך, שבכל עת ערב ובוקר וצהריים. ברוך אתה אדוני, הטוב שמך, ולך נאה להודות.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael, Amcha tasim le'olam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael ואת כל העמים בכל עת ובכל
Atah Adonai,
Oseh
Oseh Hashalom. We pause for some silent meditation.
Ose shalom bimrama, hoya ase shalom, aleinu li'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol bnei Adam.
We're so fortunate to have wonderful lay readers within our community. Michael, you nicked one of my directional pieces earlier on, but I nicked a few bits that he was meant to be reading as well. I did a whole great thing. I was so organised and marked up a booklet for Michael, only to mess it up as we went through. But my apologies. Will you still give a sermon tonight?
I'll punish you with that.
Over to you.
The week's parasha begins by describing the ritual slaughter and sacrifice of the para aduma, or red cow, by Eleazar the priest. Now, it may well be, I don't know whether that's going to be read tomorrow or something. It is that bit. So you're being warned, because it's not for the faint-hearted and definitely not for the sensitive.
We might not translate it, though.
Okay. Back in 1971, I found myself on kibbutz Sdot Yam, near Caesarea, where I was to spend a number of weeks as a volunteer. I was the youngest person there. You can do your sums. I was 17. And it was reasonable that I shared my room with the oldest, a Welshman twice my age. To my considerable apprehension, my protector got roaring drunk a couple of times a week. He would then roll in, awakening me with a rendition of a Welsh language song which I've never forgotten, Uis Scarbaretto, which apparently means, "Where is the red cow?" Could this Welsh folk song have the slightest connection with the biblical ritual referred to in our parasha? Be that as it may, the temple priests were instructed to search for a cow with a perfect red coat, a perfect cow that had never worn a yoke or been used for work. They were then to slaughter it outside the sanctuary, sprinkle some of its blood 7 times in the direction of the sanctuary, and build a fire. The cow's remains were to be thrown into the fire along with a piece of cedar wood and hyssop tied together with a red string. After the cow had completely burned, its ashes were to be divided into 3 parts. One for use in purifying those who had touched a corpse, one to be kept outside the sanctuary for safekeeping, and one for use in the future, to be mixed with the ashes of another red cow. Some reports indicate that from the time of Moses until the temple was destroyed in 70 CE, only 9 such red cows were used for this special ceremony. The ritual purification, if you haven't had enough already, worked as follows. A ritually pure person would mix together a jar of fresh spring water with some ashes from the red cow. The water would then be sprinkled on a ritually impure person during the 3rd or 7th day of impurity. At the setting of the sun of the 7th day, the person would become pure again. Many interpreters have no explanation whatever for this curious ceremony. It is commanded by God, they say, and that, rather than some rational explanation, justifies its observance. Not everybody is given up without a fight, though. Rabbi Shaw says that the ritual is meant to warn Jews against the tendency of clinging to loved ones who have died or wanting to caress and embrace their dead bodies. Shaw holds that To warn against this tendency or against the practice in some societies of worshipping the dead, the Torah declared contact with a dead body defiling. A sprinkling by waters mixed with ashes from the red cow is the only rite for purification from such sin. The ritual functions as a dramatic reminder of the prohibition to touch or venerate the bodies of their dead, and so possesses both educational and purifying powers. Interestingly, if a little obscurely, research chemist Dr. Robert Kunin writes, "Our biblical ancestors were well aware of water pollution and were also aware of technology capable of treating such polluted water. A chemist analyzing this ritual carefully soon realizes that the mixture of ashes is a mixture of granular and powdered and activated carbon and bone char, a mixture of, wait for it, virgin carbonaceous adsorbents capable of removing practically all known toxins, viruses and pollutants, including radioactivity. It should be noted that the components of the ash and the basic method of treating water, as described in Numbers, is essentially the only method currently approved by the United States government. Whether or not you accept that, or even understand it, here is one last interpretation to consider, proposed by modern biblical scholar Jacob Milgrom. Ancient Jews, he explains, believed that acts of immorality affected more than just those involved in them. There are consequences of wrongdoing that infect and pollute the whole community. Milgrom describes 3 categories of such sins: individual wrongdoings committed inadvertently, communal sins committed inadvertently, and deliberate wrongdoings. In all cases, these sins have a contaminating effect not only upon the guilty individuals, but also upon the community and sanctuary. Asking forgiveness through sacrifices and prayers, even repairing the wrong through apology and or restitution, is not enough to purify what is soiled by wrongdoing. For the ancients, says Milgrom, the ritual of the para aduma, the red cow, alone has the power to remove or exorcise such sinfulness. By daubing the altar with blood or by bringing it inside the sanctuary, the priest purges the most sacred objects and areas of the sanctuary on behalf of the person who caused their contamination by physical impurity or inadvertent offense. In other words, the person and the community corrupted by wrongdoing are restored to a state of purity and can then go on without the burden of guilt. Whatever the explanation, if any, that one accepts, clearly the ritual of the red cow functions as a means of re-entry into the sacred community of one who has broken the taboo of touching a corpse. Separation from the community and sanctuary is a serious matter. A ritual like the para aduma guarantees return and acceptance into full group membership and participation. The original meanings of each element of the para aduma elude understanding. Its goal of removing a sinner's contamination and allowing re-entry into the sanctuary of the people, like ritual circumcision and the laws of kashrut, preserves the solidarity and sanctity of the Jewish people. The ritual serves Jewish survival, and who knows if it has any effect on Welsh folklore.
Thank you very much for creating such beauty out of, well, a red heifer, which otherwise is not the most beautiful of portions, I don't think. But unfortunately, you had the wrong rabbi here, of course, because if only to have Rabbi Leah, who's a chemist, she'd been able to check out your, your findings of the chemistry. I'm sure you're probably right, but it's obviously a move towards the sort of like ecological kind of cleanser. No, that's very good. Thank you very much indeed. And again, I really appreciate having such erudition within here as well, and there were some real tongue twisters in there. Beautifully. Thank you so much. Let us move now to our concluding prayers that you can find on page 520. Page 520, and please rise. Aleinu l'shabach l'adon hakol, lateit gedula liotze bereshit, asher sam chelkenu li'ached et shemo, v'gor aleinu lahamlich malchuto.
ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלכי המלכים, הקדוש, הקדוש, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Who spread out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory fills the highest heavens, whose might extends throughout all space, who in truth is our sovereign, for there is none else, as it is written. Know then this day and take it to heart. The Eternal One is God in the heavens above, and on the earth below. There is no other. As we worship before you, O God, we think of those who once shared with us the joys and burdens of life and who are no longer in our midst. The sorrow of bereavement is softened by the bond of love which continues to unite us by our dear ones and by our cherished memories of them which we will always carry in our hearts. And on this Shabbat we recall the yahrzeit of Gerald and Lynn Edelman, the parents of Keith and David, Helen Azorio, past member and benefactor, Philip Isaacs, the father of Janet Armitage, Roger Cantor, the father of Annie Woodcock, and Valerie Manuel, the sister of Pam Millard, Joe Neal and Douglas Manuel, and aunt of Daniel and Simon Monk. We're saddened by the recent death of Michael Atkinson, friend of Helen Codd. May all that was good in their lives remain with us as an influence for good. O God, grant consolation to those who are in sorrow and light to those in darkness. Teach us at all times to put our trust in you and to praise your name. Yitkadav, Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Alma Divrach Hirutei V'yamlich Malchutei, V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala v'izman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mavarach leolam ulamei amaya. Yitbarach v'ishtabach v'itpa'a v'tromam v'itnaseh. V'tada v'talei v'talal Shemei d'kudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran balma v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabbah min Shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom b'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol b'nei Adam v'imru. Amen. May the Most High Source of perfect peace grant peace to us, to all Israel, to all humanity, and to all those who mourn. And let us say, Amen. Please be seated. In a few moments, we conclude with a Sephardi tune to Yigdal that you can find on page 526, the words, not the music. Hopefully you'll be able to join in with us, though, as well. And hopefully you'll join in with us over this Shabbat. Tomorrow morning is a mega Shabbat for us. We have a new members meeting, and we have so many people who've joined us in the past couple of years and haven't had the opportunity necessarily to all come together. Please do join us to say hi to and welcome people who are new members. And if you're a new member, well, hopefully you've been here already, but it would be fantastic to welcome those who are coming for the very first time. I know that some people are. It's also a special day because we have Brian Price's second bar mitzvah. All of his family participating. It's going to be a real treat for us. And we have a very special announcement as well. We have a baby blessing tomorrow morning and we can now announce Baby Schultz is no longer just Baby Schultz, but Amira Schultz. and you'll find out tomorrow morning what her Hebrew name is. So please do join us. It's the beginning of the service, so don't miss out. But next week as well, we have Bat Mitzvah with Francesca Burl, and many other things happening during the week. But let's conclude now.
Yigdal Elohim Chai, v'yishtabach, nimtza ve'nei tel, metziuto. Echad ve'en yahid, k'yihudo, le'elam v'gam ensof, ve'yaduto. Elo damot haguf, Katman l'chodava, Hashem nivra, Rishon ve'reshit, l'reshito. Hino Adon Olam, l'chol notza, Yorei gedulato, u'malchuto, shofet nevoato, לא קם בישראל כמו שעוד נביא ומביט את אמונתו. תורת אמת נתן להפועל על יד נביאו נאמן ביתו. לא יחליף האל ולא יעמיד דתו לעולמים לזולתו. סופר ויודע סתרנו, מביט לסוף דבר בקדמתו. גומל לאיש חסד כביבה לו, נותן לרשע רע כרישתו. ישפוך לקט ימין על כל בשר רוחו, לפדות מחקקת ישועתו. חיי עולם נטע בתוכנו, ברוך הדעת שם תהילתו.
Please rise. Adonai yishmor tzeitzcha uvoecha, me'ata ve'ad olam. May the Eternal One guard your going out and your coming in, now and always. Let us say, Amen. Shabbat shalom to you all, and Shabbat shalom to those who are joining us now in our Kiddush Zoom room. Please do feel free to join them. You'll find the link at the bottom of the screen right now. It's fantastic. Thank you so much for reminding us as well, Mike, that it's a Pride Shabbat as well, and more on that tomorrow morning. But happy Pride Shabbat for all of those who are celebrating this opportunity within the Jewish community as well as within wider society to celebrate all of our identities. Please do join us. There's Paul and Bern. You've got a whiskey over there. If anybody else wanted one, you can help yourself as well. Just shout if you wanted. Special treatment, you see. If Paul comes down from Sleaford, so he gets a definite whiskey. Ruth, can you pass to Paul and to Bern, Uncle Bern? There we go. Reward for coming in and singing so beautifully for us as well. Thank you so much indeed, sir. We're sorry that Mum and Dad aren't in the sanctuary this morning, but are very much in our Zoom room, sharing with David and Carla as well, who are in Dublin. David was with me in Lutz just earlier on, and wonderful to do that. Carol and Mike, lovely to see you and be joined with you literally just around the corner. Amazing to have everybody with us, and I'm sure you'll enjoy all the chat in a bit as well. I can't work out where Ali is. Are you down in Findon at the moment? Yeah, I think so. But hopefully we'll make it up. Ali, baby blessings first thing in the morning, 11 o'clock. So you need to be here early, okay? We've got special tea for you as well, though, beforehand, as part of the new members meeting beforehand. So extra reason to come up early. But you're the first person speaking as far as the boat. So literally, we can't start the service without you, so make sure you're here. Hopefully the M25 is okay. Anyway, let's say Kaddish and sing Kaddish all together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'achava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lemahaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila, lemekra hekodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim, כי באנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. אמן. לחיים. It's not single malt, but it'll do. Shabbat shalom to everybody. And we have challah coming round at the moment as well. Hopefully you have your own. You can reach out to feel the sustenance from each other's screens, and from the sanctuary. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min ha'aretz. Shabbat shalom. Goodbye to those on the live stream. We look forward to joining you tomorrow morning.